Hello, Jamie. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How have you been?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thank you for being patient and letting me get all set up here. I appreciate you coming to our new facility. What do you think?
I love it here. I'm actually familiar with the venue.
The whole setup,
I am.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love this place. The food's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Staff, everybody's super cool. And we did our film festival here for the Jurjasian Film Festival. And as you can see, they have the screen here. So it's a nice little boutique theater that we can do screenings and red carpets and all that fun stuff. So
Love it.
thank you so much for stopping by.
For sure.
So we had a chance to meet at the 48-hour film, and you submitted a film. This was your directorial debut.
It was.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
So let's dive into that a little bit. So give us your full name and what you do, actor, director, writer, all the time, cool person. Like, give us a quick little who you are, and then let's jump into your film.
Okay, sounds good. So I'm Jamie Aronson, and I'm an actress first, and then I also am a director, and I am a casting professional, so I help in casting, and I've been a director's assistant, and I'm also co-writing some things with friends. So writer, but I don't normally go with the title. It's just a thing I do.
Right. So it's like a new thing. Are you taking any writing workshops or any like tutorials or any online labs or what? How are you learning to write screenplays?
I have read Save the Cat, and I'm not really focusing on it much right now, which is why I'm co-writing with people. Mm-hmm. So it's more like giving input based on my instinct. And I'm taking a directing class, which dives into the structure of a screenplay. So I'm basically learning it in non-traditional avenues. Mm-hmm. And then one day when I'm ready to really dive in and write my own stuff, I will take a more structured route to mm-hmm. learn. I don't want to say the proper way, but like the more traditional way.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's good that you're at least starting, because you're kind of putting your mind in the set of creating a story and then putting it into a screenplay paradigm. And that takes a lot of thought, a lot of practice, a lot of R&D, a lot of research. So the fact that you've actually started is the hardest part, because the hardest thing to get any project going is starting it. And once you start it, then it's just like it's putting in the work to make it all happen. So hats off to you starting on that. Are you finding that you have plenty of stories you want to tell on the big screen, or are you kind of researching or searching what stories that you want to tell? Because a lot of people say write what you know. So are you tapping into your own life experiences, or what's your source of creative storytelling?
I like that question because I have not gotten to that part yet, meaning I'm sure I have stories to tell, but the reason I haven't been diving into writing itself is because I'm not super clear on what the stories are that I need to tell. I'm in a phase where I've been really collecting acting footage. So the things I have written have been, what kind of characters do I want to play? And you're right about it's what I know. So a lot of the things I've been writing have been characters that are already really close to who I am, but maybe an exaggerated version, because I do like comedy. Mm-hmm. And I would say so far that's the stuff I've been writing, which is why I haven't done a ton of research, because it's mostly been for acting footage. And the other things that I've been writing with people, it's an idea that they've come up with that I've been able to run with it creativity wise, where I'm like, okay, I can picture this in my mind already as a film. So then that's why I've been going with my instinct, where I just tune into it as if I'm watching it in my head, and then I just write down what isn't already on the page. Mm-hmm. So hopefully that answers the question.
Yeah, no, that's cool. So let's dive into your film that you directed, and you acted in it, is correct? Were you the lead or supporting, or?
I was a very small supporting role. I didn't want to be distracted because the main job was to direct it. Mm-hmm. And And so I wanted a chance to act in it because I just love acting, and someone gave me the advice that if I have the power to put myself in something, I should do that. Like, why would I not act in something if I can? Because a lot of times as actors, it's not up to us. So that's why I gave myself a little role in it. But my lead was Liz Fenning, and she is such an incredible actress. And I'm not sure if you were going to ask about this, but I'm just going to say it now in case I don't get the chance. But she won us Best Actress. And so it was my first time directing, and we won an award for it. And I think it's thanks to her, and we work together really well as a team. So I want to absolutely give credit and props to her, because it was like, of all the categories, you know, Best Actress. So like, hats off to Liz Fenning. She was incredible. And everybody who watches it, every note that we get is, oh my God, she's such a good actress.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a pretty big accolade. First time out the gate and you get an award. That's not an easy one to get. The 48 is pretty competitive. There's a lot of great films, a lot of great talent. I think they had 80-something films, so it was a big field, you know. So to get Best Actress out of a field of 80-something films, that's kudos.
Thank you. I hadn't really thought of it that way. That is really cool.
Yeah. I'm glad I know you're on the way up. Don't forget me when you get big. So I direct as well, and I've been kind of researching. I made a lot of directorial mistakes when I first started directing. When I think I might have 11 48-hour films that I've been doing it a long time, but I didn't really take any kind of courses or any kind of classes. I didn't go to a film school. I just had ideas, and my perception of what I thought a director was everybody do what I say, and that's a director. But that's not really a director. And I learned over the years, and after taking some workshops and taking some course and working with some actual directors on some feature films, and I was like, oh snap, that's how you do it. And then you do your own little deep dive, and just to figure out how you can get better. What kind of director would you say you are? What's your directorial strategy in getting the best out of the crew, cast, and anybody that is touching the film in any capacity?
So I'm very collaborative. A lot of people that know me personally know me as kind of a control freak. So it's ironic, because I would think that going into directing that I would be like, oh, I need the control. But we'll see what happens as time goes on. But for now, because I'm new, I was brought onto that specific project very unexpectedly. It was a producer who had worked with me as an actress before that said, I feel like you would make a good director. Would you like to direct my next film? And I thought it would be silly to say no, even though I knew I'd direct eventually, but I wasn't really like seeking it in that moment. So I thought it would be silly to say no, though, and I'm really glad I said yes. But it's not like I had already taken a bunch of courses and read a bunch of books about directing, because I was more focused on acting. So because it's I don't know if people know the nature of the 48-hour film festival, but everything is given to us right before we start. So it's a weekend, and so on the Friday night we get certain details that we're going to need to put into the film, and then we have to make the entire film in 2 days and submit it on Sunday night, including writing it. So what we can do in the week beforehand is prepare as far as getting our cast and crew together and brainstorm about locations and things like that. So my strategy as a first-time director, which, by the way, we didn't have time to make a shot list. And because we just got the script right before we started shooting. But my strategy was to put together a really good cast and crew. And I mean, it worked, because we won Best Actress. So obviously the actors I got were incredible. I even got some names in there. So and people with very long lists of credits, their IMDb, 70 something credits, a few of them had, and one of them is in a lot of things that people have seen. And So I'm really, really proud of the cast that I put together. And then the crew, it was like people that can really think on their feet, and they were very supportive to me as a director. And because I was new, I did ask for their input on certain things. So I think that's the easy way to answer the question is my strategy was collaboration and casting and getting the correct crew that I trust their abilities so that I can do my job, which was while on set, was to realize which shots would look cool and work well with the film and maybe have some symbolic meaning in there. And because of the lack of time, I was able to think on my feet because I knew I was supported with everything else, that I could just creatively realize, oh, this would look good. And then they were able to accomplish it, and it worked. And I was so proud.
Right. Did you have a strategy on your directorial compositions of specific shots that you could say is your style? You know, whether it's a Dutch shot or you like doing a lot of close-ups or your drone shots. Did you have basically a strategy on what your composition arrangements were going to be from shot to shot, or did you just kind of like, all right, I'm on set, let's see how it's playing out, and then you kind of call the shot that you want to do kind of on the fly? Or did you have an idea of where you wanted to do your 2 shots, 3 shots, close-ups, drones, jibs, trucking, panning, any of that stuff? Did you kind of do it on the fly, or did you have a little bit of idea? Because you said earlier you didn't have a chance to do a shot list, and that's kind of where you think about that. So not having a shot list, you kind of got to go by the seat of your pants. What was your strategy?
I love that question. I would say you're very on track with that, and that a lot of it was on the fly. And luckily I have a background in improv, so I do trust my instincts in the moment of things. And there were certain shots that would just come to me in the moment. And as far as kind of like a strategy or style, I would say I really do like symbolism. So we had one where we have a very tall actor, Isaac C. Singleton Jr., and he was in a scene with Liz Fenning, and he's very tall, she's average height, and they were near a staircase, and I realized it would be really cool to have the camera from really high up, really high angle, looking all the way down from behind the shoulder or over the shoulder of Isaac, and looking down at Liz, and then all the way down the staircase so that it goes infinitely down, or it looks like it goes infinitely down. And I just thought of it in the moment because of the symbolism that it's making her feel small in the moment, because that's her character in the moment. She felt very small. And then there was another one that was a progression of her learning a skill and going from novice to expert. And I realized that it would be cool to have something set up where it's the camera's still, and then it's like almost like a time lapse, and it's showing her in different positions, going from one side of the screen to the other side of the screen. And I pictured, like, if you ever see these charts, like it's going from like monkey to man of evolution of human. So I did something like that where it was like she was in 4 different positions, and it went, just with the time, and we accomplished it. And I thought of both of those in the moment. It was really insane. And then besides that, I would say the intuition kicks in from my background in acting, where everything's character-based and emotion-based. So an example is, as far as if I want to do a 2-shot or a close-up, okay, 2-shot is like, what's the scene about? Is it about our relationship? Then it should be a 2-shot and show us interacting, and it can be kind of like a medium to show our body language. Where if it's something very emotional, it's going to be a close-up on the lead, because we need to follow that lead character and know what they're going through in that moment so that the audience can feel what they're feeling.
Did you have moments when you were shooting as a director where you were very happy with the choices your actors made and the ideas that they brought to the scene, and you worked mostly on blocking, composition, and maybe some staging, and you just trusted that what they were doing was working? Or did you also have moments where you needed to collaborate with the actor and say, okay, I'm trying to get this shot, but can you help me with what my vision is? What ideas do you have that can help me get this shot? Did you have kind of both of those moments when you were directing?
I definitely had the first one. The second one, as far as if I needed somebody's help to get us where we need to be, I was racking my brain as you're asking the question. I couldn't think of a single instance. I'm looking forward to that in my future of directing, because I think as my background as an actress that I would have so much fun collaborating with someone in that way, but I don't have a memory of that happening on this shoot. As far as the first part that you mentioned, absolutely. So we had Dwee Beck, who was playing a bit of a bad boy, sort of like rebel, and he made some character choices that were insane. There was one part, so the part of the film was it's as if we're in an acting class, and so he was doing a scene. So like as an actor, he's playing a character who's doing a scene as an actor, and he put on a little bit of an accent, and it was so silly because it just worked well for it, that I wasn't expecting the accent, and it just worked for it. And then he also was chewing on a toothpick, and then he also had his foot up on a table, and then the teacher in the class tells him to take his foot off the table and stuff, and it was so funny, these character choices that worked really well with the character, and it just really added to it. And I just, again, like I knew what I was getting into when I cast these specific actors, because they're such pros, and I was actually really excited to see what they brought to the character, and that one worked really well.
What's fun about working with actors like that is they give you surprises to react to. And the more jewels they give you to react to, the more organic it looks and feels, because you're reacting to something you weren't really expecting when you ran lines or did a table read or, rehearsed it. And they kind of saved those secret surprises for when the camera's on and you're into the scene, and then that's when they make a choice that you weren't even expecting. And if you're smart, you play that, you react, you're like, okay, this person's going to give me some surprise reaction, so I'm going to be ready to like spontaneously react versus have it distract me for what I'm thinking it should be. I'm going to like roll with those reactionary jewels. Do you find that is something that works with you as well?
I would say I have more experience with that as an actress. As a director, I don't know if I necessarily experienced things that I had to roll with that I wasn't expecting. I think actually I thought of one. So there's a moment when Liz's character is outside. She's running away crying from what the teacher said, and she's crying, and then she ends up like slumping down onto the doorstep. And so we had to then plan for that afterwards, like after the fact, to then move the camera down to capture that correctly.
So she lands in frame. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was one of my favorite moments. And also, it was supposed to be MOS because we didn't know if we had the right equipment to capture sound outside. And so we were planning on just doing voiceover. And a few of my crew members suggested, what if we try doing the sound? And we weren't sure if we would have time for it. But this goes along with trusting my crew, where I said, how strong is your instinct that we should try this? They said, there was one in particular I was talking to, he said 80% sure, and he has experience directing as well. So I said, okay, we're gonna do it, whether we have time or not. We're gonna make this happen. And then I believe that was the moment that won her Best Actress, because when she said her line, it, like, I got chills, and I told the script soup, circle that one. That one's gonna be it. And then that was absolutely in the final take, the final, I don't know what to call it.
Final cut.
Thank you. Final cut. See, I'm new. Still learning. And it was just incredible. And like, that wouldn't have happened if if we didn't all trust each other. And obviously that's her using her acting instincts and her acting skills, and then the camera operator's skills of being able to then move the camera down, and the editor's skills of knowing the right time to switch over to that scene where she is then falling into frame. So yeah, it was great.
That's awesome. So your film's up on the screen, and you are in a full audience, because it was packed, because our film screened. I think we won 2 awards. I forget what the awards were. So how are you feeling when you're sitting in the audience, you see your film up on the screen, and you're anticipating where you want to get reactions, and then maybe you get like a surprise laugh or a moan or a ah? Did you find that the audience reaction was expected in some scenes, but then was a surprise in others? Like, what were some surprise audience responses, and what were some responses where you knew you were going to get a response and you got exactly what you wanted?
So the teacher was supposed to be very mean. That was kind of the point. The film is called The Art of Rejection. So this actress is being rejected, and then she gets her revenge on him. And so when he's berating her and telling her what a bad job she's doing, I would say that got the correct audience reaction. And then at the end, so one of the lines that we have to say in it was, "That's how you do it." So obviously he didn't say that to her. He said that to the other actor, the bad boy rebel one, as if he's doing better than her. And then at the end, she becomes the casting director, and the teacher is an actor, and she rejects him. And she says, "That's not how you do it." And so that got a really good reaction from the audience, where they're all like, "Oh," as if someone's getting called to the principal's office. So that absolutely went how I thought it would. Something that I wasn't expecting, I was learning an acting. It was an acting learning moment for me. So in my scene, I was doing this dramatic monologue, and I believe people laughed, and that was surprising to me. And my editor taught me something, and he said that if we push, like, let's say we're trying to be dramatic, but we do it kind of like too big and we push too much, that it becomes comedic, which I didn't realize. And when I watch it back now, I'm able to see it, that it's almost like overacting or too much, where if I was to pull it back more, because I had tears too, so that's why I was like, oh, I thought that was a good one. But regardless of tears, if I was to pull back, that could make it come across as more dramatic rather than comedic. So my film ended up being a comedy, and I thought it was a drama. So that was a very interesting light bulb moment. And luckily I have a good, I keep my ego in check, where I'm not offended by it. I'm just that's really important to learn.
Yeah, your ego's not your amigo in this situation. So you say that you assist in casting. So what are some tips that we can we can get from you, who's actually on the casting side of things? What are some things that from the inside that can be a good takeaway for actors that are sending in their stuff or going in for an audition or whatnot?
Okay, that's a fun question. So my first thing is going to be about framing and lighting and sound. So we have to be able to see you. So I would say some really big tips would be, don't have your face covered, and that means by hair, by a hat, by sunglasses, by your hand. So a lot of actors like to play the emotion by covering their face because they're playing upset, but then we can't see you. Another one that's really good is keep eye contact with the scene partner. So it's really interesting. Sometimes it's hard to keep eye contact. So especially as an actress, if I'm starting to feel emotion and I'm looking at you, I might look away because maybe that's what we do in real life. But as an actor, if we're able to keep eye contact during the emotion, it feels really powerful to the audience. So I'd say those are some really important tips. And then just in general, just know that you're solving our problem. So we have a casting problem. We need to cast a specific role, and we are rooting for you, and we want you to do well. So go into it with that attitude that you're really helping us.
That's awesome. Jamie, thank you so much for stopping by and kicking it with the Pod Brother here on Pod Brother Nation. I'm excited about your film career and your directorial debut. I do stand up, so if you're looking for an actor to cast, like, definitely throw my name in a hat when you're doing something cool. So thank you so much for stopping by. Where can we find you on the socials?
I'm on Instagram. The handle is jamie.s.aronson. And I don't know if you're going to have it written down or if I should spell it out.
Yeah, sure. Spell it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Jamie, Jamie dot, like, period, S as in Sarah, dot Aronson, Aronson. So that's Instagram. And yeah, I'm also on YouTube, LinkedIn. Yeah.
Do you have a website, or you basically are relying on the socials?
I have a website, but I don't remember what it is because I started it like 10 years ago.
Right.
So yeah, I have it written down somewhere. Eventually I'll make a link tree and I'll put everything on my Instagram in my bio.
Thank you. So if you could work with someone that is an A-lister, who would that be? Whether it's a writer, director, producer, who would you like to see in your dream project?
I think Adam Sandler. I have a long list, but trying to keep it short for you.
Yeah.
I would say Adam Sandler.
Okay. That's a good call. All right. Thank you, Jamie.
Yep.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. There you have it. We are here in Hollywood on Sunset at Vivoli's Pizzeria. This is our new home for Team Comedy USA, Pod Brother Nation, the Pod Brother Show, and I'm kicking off a new podcast, which is called Refs and Chefs Comedy Podcast. I'm the ref. Will is the chef, and we're going to have comedians and chefs on. We're going to cook, we're going to laugh, and we're going to have a good time. So we'll let you know when we launch that podcast. In the meantime, follow Jamie, check her out, man, and just support her because she's on her way. She won Best Actress in the 48 Hours. That's pretty cracking. All right, be nice to yourself because that's the only way you're going to be nice to me when you see me on the streets. All right, peace out.
Bye. Thank you.
Awesome.